Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in this great wild world of ours today. What I want to talk about today is relationships, especially relationship as it concerns to boundaries. And when we talk about this, I talk about how we always talk about like red flags. And when we talk about red flags, for instance, I wouldn't date somebody that smokes. I wouldn't date somebody that's a heavy drinker. And that has to do with the fact that I consider those red flags. I wouldn't date somebody that doesn't pay their child support. It's just that as far as friendship, that's okay. But as far as dating or having them, and remember, I've talked about this before. You have your inner circle of friends, and then you have your outer circle of friends, and those inner circle of friends. Remember, are what help build you up as a person. And remember, I've said this, and I honestly believe this. Your five closest friends is generally is your personality. So if you have five closest friends, and they're not, I don't consider family members. I'm talking about five closest friends. So those five closest friends are is the summation of your personality. So what you're trying to do here is if you don't like the people that you're dating, you don't like the people you're mating, you need to figure out who are my close friends, what do I need to change, and etc. So the point I'm trying to make here is as well as what are you willing to accept? What are you willing to say that's okay or whatever? I had a friend of mine reached out to me on the phone yesterday and saying that they were having problems with who the person they were dating. And what I was telling them, you have to take stock in what you're looking for and what you need to do about that. So, in what you're trying to do, if you're trying to get the quality of people you want in your relationship or increase your quality of people in your relationship, you need to address the issue of how to make things a better situation for them. So, what I suggest, and I've told this person, is you need to work on assessing your goals or assessing where you are in your life with this. So, in other words, what you try to do is you assess if say, oh, I'm attracting the wrong type of people. And here again, secondly, you attract what you're looking for in life. So, if you say that you don't want a smoker but you attract smokers, then what you need to do is you need to assess that and change things in your life about that. Secondly is the boundaries issue. You have to, and we were talking about that a few minutes ago, you have to figure out what works in your relationships and what doesn't work in a relationship, and what you're willing to make those sacrifices are in that relationship. A lot of people will take and say, "Oh, I'm willing to accept that," but when they realize that, they they don't change that. So and they struggle with it and they try to get things done the way they want them, and then it doesn't work. So in essence, what you're trying to do is you're assessing your goals every day, assessing where you are, what you need to change, and move on from there. Like I said, boundaries. And sometimes and the other issue I talked to this person, just because you think that this isn't working out, it could be, there's always that chance. Yeah, it could be better, but there's also that chance it could be a lot worse. It's always what, you know, greener on the other side of the fence. Just because your neighbor has a nice lawn and you don't have a nice lawn doesn't necessarily mean that just because he has a nice lawn doesn't mean he's willing to make those sacrifices and tools in his yard on all weekend and puts a lot of time and energy into it. But there again, I've said this to a couple people already. When you're dealing with a relationship, any type of relationship, whether they be personal, work relationships, or anything like that, you have to put that time and energy into the relationships. And you have to come across with it with a positive mindset too. I seen this the other day. Somebody called me up on Wednesday, I believe it was, and was talking about their relationship. And it was like, I also said this to one of my daughters about their relationship with their mom. If they want a better relationship with their mother, they have to make that step forward and not necessarily blame it all on their mom. We always have a tendency to point the finger. And when you point the finger, I've always said this to people too. Once you point the finger, you're giving up your authority, you're giving up your power. So never point your finger at anybody, because sometimes what you find out, it's your own subjectivity or objectivity that you're looking at, and not necessarily you're not looking at it from that person's eyes. So for instance, my daughter, she was talking about her mom. I said, you need to sit down with your mom and develop a better, solid relationship with your mom. And we're talking about this in Mother's Day next week. So for those that want a better relationship with their mother, the best thing to always do, is to reach out to your mom and just sit down with her and come across it with a positive attitude. Sometimes I look at the issue with, and I kind of laugh about it, but it's not really a laughing matter itself. But I look at the movie, the serial, the show 2.5 Men, and how Charlie always has this issue with his mother, but he's not willing to make the sacrifices to better his relationship with his mother. And though in essence he loves his mom, but he lacks that communication to how to better his relationship with his mom. So, and I see that also with his brother too. Even though he loves his brother, he has a hard time communicating to his brother as well, because the fact of the matter is, though he loves his brother, he just doesn't know where to take it. And then instead of using a positive spin on it, he puts a negative tone on it as well. So in essence, when I'm talking about this, you have to make up what you're willing to accept and willing to not accept. And there again, we go back to the issue and we go through the whole full circle of boundaries. So in essence, we talk about boundaries and what we're willing to accept. So there again, it's the full circle about boundaries and what you're willing to accept. But like I said, folks, the point here is to make things a positive, and part of that is, I'm reading a book right now, is positive mindset. And you got to have a positive mindset about relationships. Part of my issue is that I'm an ENTP, so I approach things in a different light than, say, somebody that's an INTJ. So in other words, it's all about our personalities. Please, that's my little lecture for the day, or whatever you want to call it. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, please listen for the word of the day at the end. And the word of the day is boundaries. So if you type boundaries and subscribe to my channel, I will send you a free copy of Empowerment and Change that I wrote a couple years ago. And like I said, the word of the day is boundaries, and I will send you a free copy of the book Empowerment and Change. Anyway, folks, I will try to go live sometime this week, and probably sometime in the midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know yet. Depends on my schedule. I got a really busy schedule this week. So anyway, please like and subscribe. Have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at bthomasmillerpsych@gmail, and the bell rings because it's my 2-minute warning. But it's bthomasmillerpsych@gmail.com. That is bthomasmillerpsych@gthomasmiller.com. Thank you. Have a great day.